Have you ever heard of Tirana? It's the capital city of Albania. Surprisingly, not many people know it. And it's amazing. Today we are going to talk about what is quite possibly the most underrated hipster city in all of Europe. So as I said, today's video is about Tirana, the capital city of Albania. So the question is, what is Tirana like and why do I love it so much? So my goal today is to give you 5 reasons why Tirana is an awesome city and why you should definitely add Tirana to your bucket list. So let's not waste any time and jump right into the topic. Reason number 1, the cafe and bar culture is amazing and vibrant there. So if you are like an expert digital nomad life living hipster, you are gonna love Tirana. Most cafes offer pretty good Wi-Fi, so you can get your MacBook out and edit your videos and work on your stuff. It's pretty amazing. So there are lots of bars and cafes in Tirana that are actually pretty chic. So yeah, this was already the first reason, the cafe and bar culture. It's amazing. Reason number 2, Tirana is pretty cheap, and obviously I'm speaking from European standards. So for example, I'm from Germany, and if you go into a fancy bar here, you might end up paying €6.50 for a drink. There in Tirana, I traveled with my girlfriend and my best friend, and sometimes when we were in a bar, we literally paid like €2.50 for all of us. Don't expect cheap prices like in India, for example, but for European standards, it's pretty cheap. That obviously also means that the food is relatively inexpensive. If you want to get an ice cream in the city, for example, it can be as little as 40p. Which in Germany nowadays is definitely no longer possible. And also if you decide to have a proper meal somewhere outside in the city, it's generally gonna be pretty cheap. One thing I have to add though, I am vegan personally, and the vegan options in Tirana are quite limited. So normally if you are vegan, you should try to cook vegan food at home in your apartment or whatever. So most restaurants in Tirana are quite meaty and don't offer too many vegetarian or vegan choices. So this is definitely a downside that I don't like about Tirana, but who knows, maybe this will come in the future with more hipsters coming into the city. So reason number 3, and this one actually is kind of connected to reason number 2, and that is apartments are pretty cheap and pretty good. So the apartments you can find on, for example, booking.com are pretty amazing. Have a look. We actually got to stay in a super nice apartment in Tirana for less than €7 a person a night. And we filmed this little video there. This was the view and you can see everything here. It was pretty amazing. I am definitely not sponsored to say this here, but if you want to stay in this very flat, I'm gonna put the link down in the description and then you can check it out on booking.com. The host is super friendly and it's a super nice apartment, trust me. By the way, if you like these kind of videos where I kind of present you a city or name facts about cities, then you should definitely subscribe to my channel. I'm the German travel guy. I'll do lots of these kind of videos in the future, so hit subscribe and you will not regret it. So far we have learned that Tirana is kind of like a hipster city with chic cafes and bars all over the place. Both are inexpensive and you can stay there for pretty cheap in a decent nice flat or apartment. Now I want to tell you what this city itself is like, because you might wonder if you know a bit. Okay, the Balkans are known not to be, I guess, the most chic place on the planet, but Tirana will surprise you. And this is also reason number 4. The city center is amazing. It's basically a huge square. It's called the... Wait, what is it called? It's called, especially the city center is amazing. It's basically a huge square with no buildings other than the National History Museum of Albania, which I highly recommend you to check out. It's all about the independence of Albania, etc. If you're interested in history, then you should definitely go there. Other than this, you can find some pretty awesome graffiti, and yes, of course, also sometimes shitty graffiti all across the city. And this is also reason number 4 why I really like Tirana, which is the overall appearance of the city. Now, of course, you can't deny that the Balkan countries are overall a bit poorer than, let's say, Western Europe, but that does not prevent Tirana from having overall a pretty nice appearance. Yes, of course, there are some shady areas, but it is pretty safe there. So even in the shady areas, so far from what we have seen as travelers there, it is really not dangerous. So even if you go to like the rancid places of Tirana, if I can say it like this, it may not look as beautiful, but it's still very safe there. And this interlinks perfectly with my fifth and final point, which is the people. The people are super friendly. When we arrived in Tirana, we found a girl who helped us translate because we didn't have Wi-Fi and we needed to find Wi-Fi to find our accommodation. So we went into a cafe and asked the girl for like Wi-Fi, or if she could translate for us, and she helped us until we got Wi-Fi and figured everything out. So everybody in Tirana is very welcoming. They are really happy to help you. In Tirana, from what I can recall, we never got scammed, which is pretty rare as a blonde European tourist, because normally the people see the money and they will try to charge you higher prices, which obviously makes sense. I won't judge them for this. But in Tirana, people are very, very honest, and this is something I really like when I travel to a place and people actually charge the real prices. We went to a local billiard club, and without negotiating or anything, we always paid the real prices. So for like 10 or 15 minutes of billiard, we paid like 20 cents or so, which is pretty cheap, and these are the real prices in Tirana. So this is something I really love about Tirana. The people overall, they're super friendly. So yeah, these are my 5 reasons why I think Tirana is a very awesome city, and I hope that I could also convince you so that you will now add Tirana to your bucket list. Trust me, it is amazing. Still, as a little conclusion, Tirana is especially nice for people who are traveling on a budget like me, and you just want to get out and get like a hipster-like feeling. So for example, I've been to nearly all countries in the Balkans, and probably Albania, along with North Macedonia, surprised me the most, because I really didn't expect this, I guess, modern chic feeling in Tirana. I am Luca, I am the German travel guy, and I make videos about traveling tips, geography and languages. I have been to 64 countries so far. Albania was actually my 63rd country that I've visited, and my goal is to visit every single country on the planet. Thanks for watching.